in 3, 2, 1. Good day, everyone. It's Sunday morning. Time now for Communique. Harry right along with you on this Sunday morning. And I have a couple of guests with me that's probably going to take up our entire time this morning. So we have a lot to talk about. First of all, from the Fayette Regional Humane Society, we have Brad Adams. Brad, how are you today?
I'm doing quite well. How about yourself, Harry?
I'm doing great, Brad. Always a pleasure having you in, and we're talking about the animals. And we have Dr. Lee Schrader, who's the head of the Humane Society here in our area. And Dr. Schrader, it's a regional humane society. What are the counties that are covered?
Well, about 2 years ago, we decided to expand our service area, and we provide service to Ross, Highland, Clinton, and Fayette counties. And we have a contract with Ross County to provide their humane agent services, so we work with them to enforce the humane laws of the state of Ohio, and then we offer all of our services to all of those counties.
Now, the humane laws are, people are saying, well, there are humane laws. Of course there are. You have to treat animals decently, and that's where you come in, Brad, and boy, unfortunately, you're a very busy guy.
Yeah, unfortunately, but at least there are humane agents like ourselves that can go out and be the voice for those animals that can't speak and make sure that they're getting the care that they deserve. So, there are laws that protect all animals, and it doesn't matter if it's a horse, pig, chicken, or a cow, or even a dog or cat. We're there, and we'll enforce those laws if needed.
Now, not every county has a humane society. That's why you guys are regional. How much work do you do outside of Fayette County versus inside of Fayette County?
We do a lot more in Fayette County, but in Fayette County, we are responding to dog, cat, rabbit, and every animal, whereas in Ross County, they have a contract with us to provide coverage for large animals, any other animal besides a dog, basically.
And today you had to go for an owl?
Yes, we did. We had a report of a baby owl being out in the middle of the street over on Glen Avenue here in Washington Courthouse. And it's not typical that we do wildlife rescue. It just depends on the circumstance. But we did get the baby owl, and whether it's a he or she, will be transported to the Ohio Wildlife Center Hospital.
So you guys have connections all over the state with,
yes,
with different humane societies. You might get called all the way up to northern Ohio or maybe even into Michigan.
Well, we really don't have those resources, but if it's another county nearby, maybe in southern Ohio or central, that needs extra manpower to assist them on a rescue, and we have those resources and those abilities, we'll absolutely provide that.
Now, we've got wintertime coming up. People have their pets, and not just, dogs and cats, but, there's chickens and pigs and cows and all other kinds of pets, too. What's some of the things that we need to know about making sure our animals are taken care of in the winter?
They all need shelter to protect them from not only the snow, sleet, rain, or ice, but also the cold weather. And it has to be adequate shelter. Just, for example, if you can find a smaller dog, which I don't recommend, outside to a large dog house or structure, that's probably not going to provide the needed heat to keep them warm. So if it is a dog, it needs to be adequate shelter where it is large enough where the dog can turn around, lay down, sit down, and stand up, but yet small enough to retain that body heat.
You got to be thinking about, think about your house. If you have high ceilings in your house, it's harder to keep your floor level warm because all the heat goes up. Same way with the dog house. The house is too big, the dog can't retain its body heat.
Right, and we also recommend some type of material that goes over the front doorway that protects for the animal from wind.
Like maybe a blanket or something,
Blankets, they seem to rip very easily. They become wet and frozen. So if there's something a little bit harder material like rubber or really thick plastic, that seems to work better. So we don't ever recommend blankets because they do get wet and frozen. And then we also recommend a good quantity of straw inside.
That way they can burrow down under and stay warm.
Yes.
Excellent, because that's what, wait a minute, I was reading Charlotte's Web to Charlie, and that's what Wilbur did. He burrowed down underneath the straw to stay warm. Dr. Schrader, you guys are doing so many wonderful things out of one of the smallest areas that I've ever seen in my life. How are you accomplishing all this?
Well, we started setting goals for ourselves maybe 10, 12 years ago. And we looked at ways to publicize what we're doing. We looked at grantors to see if they would help us. And I think the most important thing for us is that we value continuing education. And we always strive to use the best practices in everything we do. So we use many, many different resources. We require continuing education every year for all of our employees. So when we find out about something that works well, we try to implement it. One of those things that we've learned about is trap, neuter, return. So everyone realizes that stray and feral cats, or we call them community cats, can become a problem. There's a tremendous problem with overpopulation of these cats. And we actually started a small trap, neuter, return program 10 or 12 years ago. And Brad was instrumental in that.
Yes, he was.
He absolutely was. But what we learned is that picking up a couple cats from here and there does no good at all. What you have to do is called micro-target the animals that you are spaying and neutering. If you can sterilize 80% of the cats in what we call a colony, or in a specific area, and we actually identified Washington Courthouse, the city of Washington Courthouse as our area. If you can sterilize 80% of those cats, the population will stabilize. And we made it our business to micro-target Washington Courthouse. And we have sterilized 1,300 to 1,500 cats in the city of Washington Courthouse. And if you talk to Joe Denon or other people that have been aware of the problem, Joe will tell you that they receive almost no calls anymore about stray and feral cats. And they used to all the time.
Right.
So we realized that we had to step up and take care of those cats. So for those of you who may not notice, the cats that you see that have the tip of their left ear removed, those cats are sterilized. They have been through our program. The reason we do that is so we can identify them and we don't bring them back in.
Right.
Put them under anesthesia before we discover they've already been spayed or neutered. So what we have done over the past 5-6 years is written grants for that specific purpose. We have targeted the cats in Washington Courthouse, and we have made a significant difference in the quality of life of these cats. The thing to also realize is that stray and feral cats are not really adoptable. Most of them are not. They're afraid of people. If you bring a feral cat into a humane society, they're not adoptable, really. They don't want to be adopted. They're not happy. They have about a 5% chance of getting out alive. So you let them live their life in their territory. They're being fed. They're doing well. And they live out their life where they live, which is outside. And that's one of the things we learned how to do, and we implemented it. And we've done that with many other programs also. So we want to be at the forefront of the latest information, the best practices that humane societies are doing. And we pride ourselves on that, on trying to do things the right way.
I'm glad you brought up the education part of it, because Brad, for years, has been coming on the show talking and educating the public about animal treatment and what is animal cruelty and how to spot it and how to report it. And, you know, he's been coming on the show, and I think, are you as busy now as what you were, say, 10 years ago?
Yes, and I think it's not always that maybe it's because we were reactive. We're proactive more now because we have those extra additional resources and donations from wonderful supporters, that the word is getting out more, and it's getting out more in the media, and people see and they're reading that there are humane agents out there that will protect animals, so they know who to report it to.
I'm glad you brought that up too, because in the beginning, when you came to our Humane Society here, you were reactive. You were reacting to what was going on in the community. But since your education program has worked so well, you can now be proactive because you've educated the people and they can see what is going on before the situation gets too worse.
Yes, and over the years, our supporter list has grown, and that has allowed us additional resources for another part-time Humane agent. It's allowed us to get out in the community more with humane education in schools and community groups. It's allowed us to patrol the alleyways and look for animal cruelty where maybe someone is afraid to report it, and that's all about community policing.
And all of this, plus the spay neuter program, plus the surgeries that have been performed, it's all being done out of where you're at now. And this, I know, folks, this is the most tiniest area that I've ever seen in my life for all this to happen. But what we want to have happen is we want a new building built so that we have room to even do more.
Right. So right now we are in an office building, and the office building was built for people, not for animals. And there's a big difference in those requirements. So animals need better surfaces that can be kept, that can be sterilized. Air filtration, airflow has to be correct. And so we have done some retrofitting. It's not that easy to do in an office building, but we have our own little surgery suite where we do 50 to 60 surgeries, most of which are spay and neuter, every week. So we do our trap, neuter, return cats. We do our own animals. We do dogs from the dog shelter. And we do owned animals at a reduced cost. We have programs for puppy and kitten parents. If you have a litter of puppies or kittens, give us a call. For a small copay, we will spay and neuter mom and maybe dad, if you know who that is, and we'll take the animals in our adoption program. We are doing a tremendous amount of work. This year we're going to find homes for over 1,200 animals.
When you mentioned that, and there's people out there right now that are going to 1,200. There's no way.
Right.
But you're not just dealing with animals from here in Fayette County. You're dealing with animals from Fayette and the surrounding counties as well.
Yes, we are. We have the resources to accept animals from other counties. Now, sometimes they're going to have to go on the waiting list. So there is something called capacity for care, which is something we learned about 3 years ago that we instituted. You can't overcrowd animals, especially cats. So if we have room for the cats to have good quality stress-free housing, we bring them in. Otherwise, we'll get them started. We'll do their vaccines, we'll deworm them, we'll send them back home with you, and then we'll bring them in later. But we do have our cats available for adoption at the PetSmart in Beaver Creek and at the Petco in Chillicothe. And they are absolutely wonderful partners for us. We just had a lovely man drive from Indiana this morning to pick up a kitten. So you can see our puppies and our kittens on Pet Finder and on Adopt-A-Pet. And people see those little faces and they drive. We've had people send their planes to pick up a certain animal. We have shipped animals. We don't like to do that, but we can.
Well, when I was in there yesterday waiting on Brad, there was a phone call from a lady in Dearborn, Michigan.
Yes. That
was interested in a cat that we had here at the Humane Society.
Right. So all of our cats and all of our dogs are up on petfinder.com. And people see the description, they see the face, they may remind them of another cat they had. Maybe the description is that they get along well with dogs, and that's what they want. And people will drive for that very special pet.
I mean, Dearborn, Michigan, that's a 6-7 hour drive.
Oh, yeah. From Indiana, it was a decent drive for the man that came this morning.
We just had, and then just 2 years ago, we had a couple drive in from Canada to adopt.
Unbelievable.
Right. And we are so very thankful for that. So if publicize is the right word, we do that with our animals. It is so important to us to get our animals a home. And I think another really wonderful number that I think we all can be proud of is that we have about a 96% live release rate.
Wow.
And that means that for all intents and purposes, we are no kill. And it means if an animal comes into our Humane Society, they have a 96% chance of being adopted. We only euthanize under the most serious of circumstances, and it's usually because they're so sick when they come in that they're suffering. And we will euthanize, but we have to be pushed to the wall to make that decision. We do not like to, and we rarely do it.
So folks are trying to raise some money to get a new building built. So when they have their fundraisers, one of which is something that's new but fun, is the fur ball.
Yes.
When they have the fundraisers, please give generously, and let's get this building built, and let's get Brad and Dr. Schrader into some new digs so that we can take care of many more animals. Brad, before I get off here, we got to talk about Charlie.
Okay. Well, Charlie is a animal cruelty case. He was involved in an animal cruelty case out of Ross County, and we took possession of him on October 31st. He was about 200 to 250 pounds underweight. We now have him in our care. Of course, a lot of people who follow us, they have seen him that way. We have him in a barn and at a nice property that was dedicated to the Humane Society for these situations. I believe that he's going to pull right out of this. He's very strong-willed. He's very sweet. And there's so many people that's emailing from all over that's wanting to adopt Charlie.
Well, and I got to meet Charlie yesterday, or this past week, and just a great animal, a very, very wonderful animal, very calm and sedate. It was amazing how, he just was into that hay bag. That's what he wanted, and it was really nice, and I had a chance to meet him, and it's just another one of the wonderful things that we could do if you had the facility to do it. You've got to have the facility. That's the thing.
This building will make a huge difference. It will draw people to Fayette County, to our spay-neuter program, to our adoption program, our education program. We're going to have a space for children there. We're going to have dog suites where they can live stress-free. This will be an amazing, I think I would call it like a light for Fayette County, a light for the animals that are here, and people will come from all around us.
And you say this, and I know there's people out there going, how in the world can a Humane Society be a draw? But when you got people in Dearborn, Michigan calling for cats, when you got people in Indiana driving here for cats, they're going to stay in the hotel.
Absolutely.
They're going to eat in our restaurants. It's going to bring business and economy to this county.
Well, when people come for spay-neuter, we usually have the animals 2 to 3 hours. They're going to stay here.
And they're going to go grocery shopping or shopping.
Absolutely. And, with the amazing revitalization of Washington Courthouse and of the downtown, we're going to be out by the YMCA. And I think people are going to be amazed at what we have been able to do in this county. We are the smallest county of all the ones that we help. We are the smallest, and we have the most resources. And that is thanks to everyone who supports us. Animals don't know where they live. They don't know their zip code. They just know that we're helping. And I think Fayette County can be so very proud of what they've been able to help us do and all the animals we've been able to help. And I am so very thankful that we're here, and for all the wonderful people that are standing with us to get this work done, because it is so critical, and we can help so many more people and so many more animals when we have the building. And I thank everyone who wants to help us.
And there are many, many ways to help. You can, leave the Humane Society a bequeath in your inheritance, or when you're gone, or just write a check. I mean, if 28,000 people in Fayette County, if we all pitched in $10, it's $280,000. Everybody pitches in $10, and that's not going to get the building built, but that's going to help.
going to help a lot.
Every dollar helps.
Every dollar.
Yep. The building is probably going to be about $1.5 million, maybe a little more, depending how long it takes us to raise the money. I believe that we can do it.
Well, you got good corporate help.
Yes, we do.
You really do.
We do have wonderful corporate help. We're about a third of the way there. We have wonderful, wonderful supporters. And I know that there are people out there who love animals and who want to be a part of this amazing work that we're doing.
And you know, when you talk about the work that you're doing, it's not just helping the animals, but when you help the animal owners
Yes.
of Fayette County, you're helping people, not just the animals.
Absolutely. We also have our care program, which is basic health care for the pets of income qualified people. We also will do something called incremental veterinary care, and that's what I'm doing. So we see animals that are vomiting or coughing, problems that we're going to try to help with. Now, I'm a retired veterinarian. I don't have all the toys I had when I was working. We can't do x-rays, we can't do blood tests, but I have 39 years of experience.
Now, is this something that we'll be able to do in the new building?
Absolutely. We are going to have a little clinic right in the building, and we are going to offer basic health care for animals. So for low-income people, people that are income qualified, it will be very, very low cost, and we may well be offering basic health care for all animals. And so one of the big things in the shelter movement right now, along with a certain group of veterinarians, is the problem of access to veterinary care. Everyone deserves to have the joy of an animal in their life. I know that veterinarians are expensive. Veterinarians are worth it. But if you absolutely cannot afford a veterinary visit, we will do our best to help you. This is something that our donors and our supporters and our board and all of us feel is critical. People deserve to have animals. Animals enhance your life to such a degree that we're going to do our best to help you take care of them. We can't offer everything, but we can offer you some basic help, especially spay neuter. We don't need any more kittens and puppies in this world, but I have treated animals for vomiting. I treated a dog with bronchitis. If you can't afford a veterinary visit, and I would always recommend that first, we're going to try to help you. We're going to do the absolute best we can.
Now, when you mention those services, you have to call ahead and say, hey, this is what I've got, because you only do it on certain days.
Yes, you have to be sure that I'm there. I'm the executive director, and I'm a veterinarian. I don't do the surgery, but I do any medical care. So have to be sure that I'm there. It is against the law to dispense medicine if I have not seen an animal. That's against the Practice Act.
We don't want that to happen.
No,
now, Brad, let's say I see animals who are not being treated correctly. What do I do?
They need to call us at the Humane Society, 740-335-8126, or on our new website that we've not talked about yet. They can report animal cruelty online directly from their home on a computer, tablet, cell phone at www.fayetteregionalhumane.org. If they see a dog, especially in the wintertime, or an animal that doesn't have adequate shelter, please call. Water needs to be fresh and unfrozen. Lots of bedding. Extra food, because they burn extra calories to try to stay warm.
Now, you mentioned the website. Let's go ahead and talk about the website.
Well, we do have a new website that was designed to make it very user-friendly and interactive on all devices. Dr. Schrader here can talk more about that, but it is going to help a lot of people view our animals just right from their home as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we really wanted to update our website. You can go there and you can see all of our programs. You can read about our Building Hope campaign, and that is the name of the campaign for the new building. You can make donations. You can make memorial donations. One thing I'd love everybody to think about, we have a group of monthly donors called Guardians, and these people just stand with us to fight animal cruelty, fight homelessness, take medical care of animals that are sick or injured. You can become a guardian on our website, FayetteRegionalHumane.org, and when you're a guardian, I send you a little quarterly newsletter. It's called the Inside Scoop. A little play on words there. So I'll send you the Inside Scoop. You get a keychain, a t-shirt, a cup, whichever you like. And then you get special invitations to all the little things we do. We appreciate our regular donors more than I can say.
And that's the backbone.
Yes, it is.
That's the basic ground grassroots people right there that are keeping things going at the Humane Society.
Absolutely. We so much depend on them and their regular support. It is just so important to us to know that that's there. But our website, we've worked really, really hard on it to make sure everything is there. You can see our adoptable animals. You can take a look at our front page and go over everything, find out our upcoming events. When the Fur Ball comes up, it's going to be April 18th next year. We will have a link to buy tickets. So we are working really hard. You can also see all of our numbers. You can see our adoptions, our number of surgeries, number of investigations by the humane agents. So it's a wonderful place to visit. Sign up for our email list, and we will keep you up to date on what's going on.
And it's very easy to donate, not just to the Humane Society there, but if you want to be a part of the Building Fund.
Yes, absolutely. It's called Building Hope. And if you click on the Building Hope link on the front page, you can go and see the plans. And you can also watch a little video we made explaining why we need this building. So you can get a lot of information. It's nice to look at the plans as well as a beautiful 3D look at the front of the building. And that's what's going to be going up just down the street, actually, from the radio station next to the YMCA on Highway 41.
And, you know, it's going to be a real nice addition to our community.
It is.
And it's going to be a really nice addition to those who want to help take care of the animals in our area.
Absolutely.
And once again, if I see, what's the number again that I call if I see some animals being cruel?
740-335-8126.
Well, that's all the time that we have today. It's a very important issue, folks. It's how we treat our animals, and you need to take care of them. Wintertime is coming, so listen to what Brad's got to say. Make sure the dog box is big enough for them to get in and turn around in, but not too big that they can't keep their body heat. Make sure they got some nice, clean, fresh straw. Make sure they have a cover over the doorway of their doghouse if they're a dog outside. Make sure that it is not a blanket, that is a heavy plastic, so that it doesn't get wet and frozen and cause a problem for the dog. Make sure the dog's outside animals have fresh water and plenty of extra food. And if you see something that you don't think is right, don't hesitate to call Brad. He said 2 o'clock in the morning is just fine, and he'll come out, because I know you've done that before.
Yeah, and
in a blizzard even, I think.
You're right, and the Ohio Revised Code tells me as a humane agent that I can bring bystanders or other people in to assist, so I will be happy to call you as well.
Oh, thank you very much. Call me right at 2 a.m. Yeah, thank you very much. I'm sure that I'll be very happy to receive that phone call. But no, I know you've been out in the middle of the night in blizzards and bad weather where you can hardly see the road, but yet, you know, you went out and took care of the animals anyway.
We clock out at 4 o'clock, but we never really clock out. We're on standby for emergencies 24/7 with the police department and sheriff's office.
And we might as well pick on Nick a little bit since he's not here.
Yeah, he is. Well, you know, we hired him just almost 2 years ago, and we make a perfect pair as humane agents. He graduated from college with in agriculture and a minor in equine management. So when we have those type of calls, it really helps as well.
So you go, Nick. He was very kind to you. He didn't pick on you at all. And that's just because Brad knew that you might be on the show next time. Pick on him.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Well, I want to thank Dr. Schrader and Brad Adams for being on the show today and sharing some of the things that are going on at the Humane Society and the importance of getting the new building built. If you can donate, folks, please do so. Dr. Schrader, Brad, thank you so much.
Thank you.